So, this one's probably gonna be a relatively special somehow episode because I found two great things that we can go through. The thing is, I don't actually know if we are able to go through both of them, and I'm just really debating in my head, what I should actually be doing. But I could actually be going through both of them because I'm having to record, or I just want to record. This is actually the better point. I want to record 2 episodes today, and so it would actually be possible. It would easily be possible. But before I'm saying anything, about what we could go through, let's actually see after the intro. As every day and as always. Let's see after the intro. And today I've actually had everything prepared, or I'm having everything prepared, because as you can see, now you can see there's my blanket, and so everything is fine. I still somehow hear that there is some echo going on. I don't know why. I hope it is not disturbing or something, or it's not just distracting from the actual experience, because this would obviously be pretty fucked up. But yeah. We could go through 2 things that are somehow correlated, somehow, it depends on how you think about those things, but they can somehow be correlated. Still, both of them are pretty good articles, and or one of them is actually a book summary, because I've decided I haven't went through a book summary for quite some time up to this point, and I do kind of feel it is time. It is time again to stop by, go through something, like a book summary, because I don't know. There are so many great books and there are so many great resources in general, and I've gone through so many articles, and I don't know, I'm really searching for good articles, at this point in time. I just somehow remember that, some time ago, it wasn't really the case, it was okay, I go on some website and then I just click one link, and then I basically have a really great article that I can go through, whether it be from TED or whether it be from just another website that just has been a good article. And nowadays it is I really have to search for them, which is also good for you, because this is my work now. My work is searching for articles, searching for something interesting to talk about and to read, and this is basically what I do, I guess. And another specialty or special thing about today is actually that I've done my hair, which is one in 100 days or something. I'm really rarely doing my hair. Why, you might think, or you might ask yourself, or you might ask me eventually. I don't actually know why, to be honest. Maybe it is just because it's quite some work somehow. And I kind of do not want to lose the time in the morning to just make my hair, to be honest, to some degree. But also because I'm just wearing my hat or my cap anyway, and therefore it's I don't have to actually do my hair. It is I'm wearing a hat or a cap, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, so therefore, why would I? Why would I even bother to do that? But I guess we're actually going through the article this time, and in the next episode or the next recording session that I have to do, we are actually going to talk about the book summary. They both are, as I said, relatively correlated. It depends on how you think about those things. But yeah, this article is actually from the Psychology Today website. It is actually a pretty great website. It really is. Still, I have to say, if your English isn't that well, and mine for sure isn't just super duper well, there might be some problems with those articles or with articles in general on the Psychology Today website, because they're generally written by quite smart people, and they're generally written in a way that is relatively high English, I would say, at least as I'm just seeing it, or as I'm just kind of recognizing it and how I'm actually feeling about them. So I don't know, you can still look up all the words and whatsoever, but it is as far as I've noticed, at least, it is a little bit of a higher English, at least at my point of view, I'm thinking about it in that way. But yeah, this article is called "Who Makes the Most Effective Messengers?" And you might be thinking yourself, or asking yourself, actually, you might not be thinking yourself, but you might ask yourself, what is a messenger? And I actually didn't know before, of course, I didn't know, but I went through quite a bit of this quite a bit of this article to just see if there's something in it, you know, if it is a good one, just really quickly, you know, really quickly. Like, just even saying that I went through this article might even be too much, you know, because I just had a look at 2 sentences and then I said to myself, like, okay, you know, let's take it. To be really honest here. The thing is, a messenger is something from his book. So this article is written from Joseph Marks MSc, which is Master of Science, I guess. And he has co-authored, if you can say that, a book which is called something like Who We Listen To. So messengers, who we listen to, who we don't, and why. You know, which is basically all about, and this is also the topic that this article is all about. It is about whom we are actually just listening to and why we are listening to certain people and why don't we listen to certain people, or why do we actually believe in what somebody says and why we don't believe in what somebody else says. You know, what variables are there and what factors are there and why are we doing that? You know, why are we acting that way and why are some people more credible than other people? Which is something that I in general find really interesting, because this is something that I had to think about as well, because I'm talking about things and I don't actually know if people are actually just believing in what I'm saying. I can totally assume that people are not believing in what I'm saying just because, like, I don't know, I do not have the high status, as they also point out a little bit later, of having a lot of following or having a big following, have a lot of followers on Instagram and whatsoever, which at my point of view, you know, and as far as I can see it, is actually a kind of a just sign of high status. And this high status makes you somehow credible. This high status just makes you believable and all those things, which is actually pretty funny, you know, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. But the thing is, at least as I think about it, or at least at my point of view, or in my point of view, it actually is just somehow making somebody or people in general more credible, more believable, and whatsoever. But, let's actually go through, you know, let's actually read this article and let's actually just digest it. Yeah, let's eat it. Yeah, never mind. Let's eat this article. So who makes the most effective messengers? So messengers, by the way, because I haven't actually answered my own question, messengers are people that talk, I guess, or people that just send out things that are not receiving messages, but they're sending out messages. Messengers? Is it even right? Messengers? Messengers. Yeah, never mind. So how we perceive a messenger influences how receptive we are to their messages. All of us at some point or other have experienced the frustration of not having our ideas and proposals listened to. It is a frustration that can quickly turn to annoyance when someone else says exactly the same thing we've been saying for weeks, and suddenly everyone thinks it is the best idea since sliced bread. The fact that nothing about the idea has changed, or that the proposal now being enthusiastically embraced is the same one that only a few days before was roundly rejected, barely seems to register. This commonplace scenario illustrates that it is often the messenger rather than the message that carries sway. In other words, when it comes to messages, designed to influence attitudes and change behaviors, the entity delivering those messages, aka the messenger or the person that just distributes the message, or just, well, like let's say this person is saying it, you know, let's talk about just some verbal communication, because of course, you know, you can also just use, I don't know, Twitter and whatsoever, but let's just for now talk about just saying things and communicating verbally, which means like, okay, the person that is saying the exact thing or saying the thing can be as important, sometimes even more so than the substance of the message itself, which is actually like a little bit of a dangerous thing, isn't it? Because like, I don't know, like if the message is basically like, okay, kill all the people, and it is like, I don't know, everyone thinks that one person is, or everyone thinks it's everyone but one person is like, okay, unbelievable, or you can't believe in this person, or you kind of think like, okay, this person is crazy, but this one person is actually making all the people are killing themselves. I don't know if this is somehow relatable. I don't think so. I really don't think so. But the thing is, yeah, definitely an extreme scenario. But if this would happen, like, yeah, no, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. But as I'm just thinking about it, it would just be insane just because of this one person, or this one person is credible, or this one person is like somehow the leader, quote unquote. But yeah, never mind. So when someone communicates an idea, people don't just make judgments about the coherence and validate of the validity. I think it's validity, but I'm not quite sure. Validity of their message. They make a whole host of judgments about the messenger too, which is definitely the case. Definitely. Does this person appear to know what they are talking about? Question mark. Do they have relevant expertise or experience? Question mark. Do they seem genuine, or might they be trying to scam me? Question mark. Are they tough enough to get the job done? Question mark. Might they have an ulterior motive? I don't know what this is. I really don't. Let's actually look it up. I'm just looking it up because you can't see. I helped your mother for my own ulterior motives. Secondary, underlying, undisclosed, undivulgate, unexpressed, unapparent, under. Well, okay. So, which means like, okay, is it like, okay, you're helping someone just for the sake of basically helping yourself to some degree? Because you kind of believe, okay, there's going to be just some upside for me. Yeah, I think it is actually the case, isn't it? You know, just correct me in the comments if there's actually something that I'm saying that it is not right. Because I'm having to, make everything right if I can. So might they have an ulterior motive? Are they trustworthy? Question mark. These are important questions, and how they are answered determines how people behave in their interactions with others. Definitely. 100% for sure. The upshot, is it like the upside? The upshot is that we don't always listen to people or other sources of information based on the content or accuracy of what they are saying. Rather, we listen to those perceived to possess particular traits or attributes that signal that their messages are likely to be worth listening to. This commonly overlooked insight suggests that the messenger has a much more fundamental role in the influence process than just communicating the message. Really interesting. And I think it basically just, it basically boils down to, okay, if you're on Instagram and you're just posting a post just because you're having a lot of followers, which doesn't have to do anything with the message, just because of that, the message is just really cool and really amazing. And the message is just top. It is amazing. It's insanely good. And when somebody with not as many followers just posts the exact same thing, people are maybe not going to be as, as amazed as when the other person is just posting something, or as just enthusiastic about it, or whatever they are. Like, emotions are not going to be as high or as vibrant or as something as when the other person is just communicating something or posting something or just saying something, whatever it is. It's going to make a difference, which is really interesting just because it is a number. And this number basically says relatively nothing. It can say something, I'm not going to be judging that, but not necessarily. Really not necessarily. Blah, 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 blah. So this commonly overlooked insight suggests that the messenger has as much, or I've read that. So they are the message, which is the point there then. So what makes some messengers seem inherently credible and others less so? The evidence suggests that there are two types of effective messenger, or messengers actually. Never mind. So the hard messenger and the soft messenger. Hard messengers are listened to because they are perceived to possess some sort of status over their audience, followers. And the soft messengers, on the other hand, are listened to because people feel connected to them, which means maybe they're having just a lot of soft skills, maybe they're just really charismatic, maybe they can just make people like them, basically. Maybe this is just what they're able to do, which is also amazing, which is also amazing to actually see that, which means that, okay, even though, you might not have, you might not have as many followers as somebody else, because you're nice and because you're generous and because you're just really likable, you still get people to listen to you. And I think charisma will always matter, and it has always been mattering, I guess, because if people like someone, they're gonna do business with them. Just, I guess, I think that businesses are willing to do business with another business if they just like the other business to some degree, besides the whole fact that they're just good at what they're doing and whatsoever. I guess, if there are two businesses, let's talk about some agencies actually. So there's one business, and this business wants an agency for some graphic design stuff, Let's actually take this example. Then I believe, when they're having two agencies to choose from, if both of them actually have the exact same skills, they're able to just provide the exact same thing, they're gonna choose the one that is just, I don't know, nicer, and or the leader that is nicer, and or the boss that is nicer. I at least guess, it would actually make sense. It would make sense if they're having everything exactly the same thing, like the same experience in this field, as I said, the same skills and all those things. If they're having everything the exact same thing, basically, then I guess that they would actually choose the nicer one and the more generous one and whatever, just because maybe, I don't know, they believe that they're gonna just pay less, because this person is nicer, or they're just gonna I don't know, get some discount just because this person is nicer. Could be the case, as I'm just thinking about it, as I just kind of have it in my mind, this certain situation. But yeah. Messengers with high status are influential in groups and societies because they are believed to possess power and other useful qualities that may be valuable to those around them. They are seen as higher up the pecking order than the person or people with whom they are interacting, and are therefore awarded respect, admiration, and social power. Think of the CEO of a company or the captain of a sports team. Yeah, for sure. Typically, we associate status with hierarchies in the workplace because they provide a clear organization or organizational structure, where those at the top make the important decisions, get paid the most, and wield the greatest influence. But status hierarchies are also found in our schools, family groups, or networks of friends and associates, and our local communities. Of course, there's always just some sort of hierarchy, and there's always some sort of status, and it really depends on the society that you're living in, and also the community that you're living in. Maybe you're just living in a rap community, every one of your friends is rapping, every one of your family members is rapping as well. Let's actually kind of say that, even though the chance is just I don't know, it is not really a big chance, I guess. The thing is, I believe that when everyone is rapping and you're the best one, and you're the best rapper, from your whole community, there's definitely going to be some status that you're having, because everybody knows, everyone from your community knows that you are the best rapper. It first of all must feel great for you, but it's certainly just, I certainly believe that people are actually just admiring you, and you're definitely having some status in your group and in your community. And I guess, I don't know, I think status is something that a lot of people are striving for, and a lot of people are driving by, which might lead people to just be in certain communities or groups they shouldn't be in, whether it be about just that this certain group is abusing some certain drugs or something, and you can just get some status because you have, I don't know, you're the most fucked up one or something. It could be the case. It could really be the case, which is something that is really unfortunate at my point of view, and which is definitely something that is a negative example of this whole status thing and of this whole kind of admiration thing and getting admired and being liked and all those things that people are willing to be and or have and whatever, which definitely makes sense. It really makes sense. We all want status, and status is actually one of the things that Seth Godin is talking about in in a lot of books, and he's in general talking about it. But I've read This Is Marketing, and he was also talking about status there. And status played a really big role there, because it was like, okay, people are gonna buy a BMW just because of the status. People are gonna buy a Mercedes just because of the status. People are gonna buy, I don't know, an iPhone because of the brand, and this brand just gets them some sort of a status and or admiration, and not just certain, they're gonna be perceived by other people in a certain way just because they have their Lamborghini, because they have their iPhone, because they have, I don't know, their great car, their motorcycle, whatever they're having, just because of that, just because of status in the really end, which is a really, really, really interesting concept at my point of view. So, in contrast to society's hard messengers who win influence by getting ahead of others, soft messengers achieve influence by getting along with others. Humans are social animals and have a strong desire to form connections, bond, and cooperate with others. This is why softer characteristics can also help people to carry sway. People don't always look to those with status for information. Sometimes they prefer to hear from their friends, those they trust, and people who are like them. Messenger effects help people to get their way in job interviews, group discussions, and even courtrooms. Despite the individuals having no real advantage in terms of the qualifications they hold, the knowledge they possess, or the rational underlying the cases that they are making. Although this may seem unfair, I would certainly argue that it is. The inclination to respond positively to messengers who signal certain traits is so deeply embedded in us that the best solution for the individual is to better understand what attributes most reliably influence whether people will listen to a messenger and why people place such great importance on them. And not only to understand how to become a better messenger themselves, but also to gain insight into why others so frequently get their way and why we might be inclined to acquise something, I don't know, the someone on the basis of how we judge them on certain seemingly irrelevant traits. Recognizing the important traits of effective messengers is crucial because they fundamentally influence who we listen to and what we believe and who we become. I think it is certainly important. So this article in general is certainly important just because we somehow then just can figure out what type of messenger we are and actually just take advantage of this certain information, take advantage of this knowledge, basically, because it is truly valuable. It really truly is valuable if you're using it. If you're using this knowledge, which is exactly the exact same thing for every kind of knowledge that you might be gathering and or that you might be just willing to collect or learn or whatever it is. If you're not using it, if this knowledge or information or whatever it is, if this is like, okay, or if you are like, okay, I'm gonna read this book, I'm gonna read this article, I'm gonna study this thing, I'm gonna do this and that, but if in the end it is actually the case that you're not acting on it, then it is like really unnecessary information. And it's been actually a waste of time, to be really honest here, because I don't know, so many people have been thinking and talking and reading is a really important word here, reading about self-help and strategies and whatever, but often they don't use the knowledge they're having. Often they don't act on what they know. It is the exact same thing for me as well. I know better, or I sometimes know better than I actually do. Sometimes I just do certain things, even though I know I could do them in a better way, or I could do them better. Why it is the case? It might be convenience. It might be because we might not be trusting in ourselves. It might be because of some other reasons or some other variables that are from the outside rather than from the inside. Maybe, people telling you that you're believing in, but you exactly know that it is not the truth or whatever, but you're still believing in them. Could also be the thing. There's so many variables. As always in life, there's so many shades of grays and not only black and white. It is really rarely binary. But yeah, just because I'm thinking about it, I'm really hoping that I'm not gonna forget about it. We are reading a new a new question from Quora. If you want me to answer one of your questions, then I would totally suggest you to hit me up on Quora and or just message me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is. And then I can also just answer one of your questions, because this would be amazing. This would really be amazing. But yeah, so let's actually pick one question. The thing is, there are so many different questions and so many different topics that I don't know, that I even do not know what I should go through. But I think this is it. Like, it seems to not be loading or something. Oh, it is loading. Let's actually go to the bottom and then okay, I can't tell you anything about Michigan because I'm not living in Michigan. So let's take this one. What are some essential financial habits and how could I implement them into my daily life? What I'm just instantly thinking about is saving money. I believe in general, the saving money is just a really important financial habit. Whether it is actually 5% of your income, whether it is like 10% or 50 or 70 or 80%. I in general believe that the more you save, the better, because I don't know, like you then can invest all this money again. You could invest this into the stock market or directly into certain companies that you're believing in. If you're having just some excess money, yeah, it just really sounds a little bit like, do you have excess money? Like it is some money that you just don't need and it's just laying around. But yeah, you know what I mean. If you're just having some money to invest in and or even build your own shit and or invest as well into your own shit, in your own company, in your own content production, media production, service, in whatever you're having, that you're also able to just have the money, or that you're just able to just also invest into your things, in other things, in whatever it is, to accumulate some more wealth. Because investing has been actually one of the things, as far as I've just read about things or read about things, as far as I've seen things, I've been seeing people talking about things, investing seems to be one of the best ways to just accumulate long-term wealth. But the thing is, it's going to be long-term wealth. It's going to take a long time. It's maybe going to take 50 years. It's maybe going to take 60 years. It's maybe going to even take longer than this. What the fuck? The thing is, a good book there would be, I think, Tony Robbins' Money Master the Game and or Unshakable. Both are pretty good, I guess, and they're both, there are also summaries on these books, so just, go through the summary at first, and if you kind of feel like, okay, this is a book that I should just be willing to read, or this is a book that I should be reading, then totally also check out the full book, buy it. It's probably going to be just $30, 30 euros, something that's relatively inexpensive, for the value that you're maybe getting. I even think that Unshakable is somehow like, it is not for free for you, but it is basically like, okay, all the sales are going to be donated to a certain foundation, if I remember correctly, which is good, which is really amazing. And I definitely believe that it has been quite a lot of money, but Tony Robbins has a lot of money, so therefore, like, yeah, it's understandable. The thing is, something else. Like, I can talk about saving. I'm a good saver. I'm really not a good investor, and I'm really not a good person in terms of making money. Something that I've been rarely doing in my life, besides my internships and besides some work that I did 2 years ago or 3 years ago in summer, I've actually earned quite nothing, at least nothing that is somehow notable or important to say. So I'm really only about, as far as I know at least, I'm about saving. I'm a good saver. I don't buy any stuff. Basically, I don't buy any once, and I just also really try to not spend any money on things like haircuts. I'm gonna just get the cheapest haircut I can get. I'm not gonna buy some clothes just because I kind of feel like it. I'm not gonna go to the cinema unless I just really have to or really, really want to. So it's totally also okay to just give in sometimes. But it is like, okay, be conscious about when you're doing it and how often you've been doing it in a year and whatsoever. It is really like, once you start with it, I guess, once you start to give in and start just, using your money and whatsoever, I don't know if this is going to be just some cycle, some really fucked up cycle, but Some other financial habits that I could maybe think about. No, I think, the problem there is I'm really not willing to just talk about investing and how to invest. I have been talking about it, but I'm not an investor. Like, I've been reading an article and I've been just talking about the article basically. And I'm also not going to just talk about it because I am not an investor. This is not something that I'm doing. I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not an investor, but I'm good at saving. This is what I can. And some tips for saving are just save. Like, just put away a certain amount of money just in the beginning of the month or when you get your money, so that you're not even able to use that money. You're not even able to just buy some stupid shit with that money. And yeah, some other good things would be just having a look at the people you're surrounded by. Because if it is just all about partying and all about just buying new stuff in your community or group, even though I really believe that people are gonna not be mad at you if you just be like, okay, I want to save a little bit of my money. I'm not gonna go partying today. I'm not gonna buy some new shit today. I at least hope for you. I at least really hope that you're having just so good friends, so amazing friends. But yeah, surroundings definitely also matter. And yeah, just, I don't know, look at the price tags. If there's just some really high number, don't buy it. And if it is something that you really have to buy, then I don't know, don't buy any other shit the whole month long. Like, yeah. And or just get an alternative. You're not going to buy the new iPhone, but you're going to buy just a 2 or 1 year old iPhone. If you just really want to have an iPhone because of certain reasons, there are certain reasons. And or buy another phone. Buy another phone that is like just way cheaper, but similarly as good. So many options. We're having really a lot of options, fortunately. And I would also say just really take care of your things. Don't throw around your phone and whatever. Don't just, don't be rough with those things, so that they don't break and so that you do not have to buy something new every second month. Every second month a new phone wouldn't be that nice. But yeah, this is what I'm thinking about. No, the wrong one. This is the one. I really have to thank you for being with me. Just subscribe to the podcast and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't, or if you aren't subscribed, because there's going to be a lot of content each day, every day. It's always going to be something. So if you do not want to miss out something, turn on the notification bell and also just subscribe to the channel and also the podcast if you want to listen to my stuff on the go, because sometimes we don't have the time to actually watch a 30-minute video or a 30-minute episode, whatever it is. But yeah, would be amazing. I would really deeply appreciate that. The thing is, I wish you the best wealth, health, happiness, and also success. And I also hope that you're going to remind yourself on how you're going to be remembered, which means actually your legacy. And even though something that I do want to point out is that no matter how nice you are and no matter how generous you are, there's still going to be someone that is really hating you because of some reasons. I really don't know. But also think about your purpose, and some questions that might help you with that are, what are you trying to change? What pisses you off the most, which is also a question that could help you to find a new business idea. And also, why are you here? These are the 3 questions. These are the 3 amazing, great questions that I've actually just somehow stolen from someone or something. But yeah. Thank you very much. This episode's been really amazing because of you, because of these great articles and whatsoever. I see you the next time. Thank you.